Website maintenance is not often talked about until it's too late, with quite often disastrous results. So I want to share with you today some tips. Now, what prompted this was I was actually reviewing an APB member's website and we found something a little disturbing. And I shared this with Russ, and he suggested that I share this with the APB members so that you can have a checklist to go to your web people and check in with them and make sure that you're not in this very vulnerable position. So in fact, our first two APB clients were website rebuilds as a result of their websites not being maintained. Now, here's the thing. They were paying for maintenance and the backups were corrupted as well as the live site, and they actually lost their menu navigation and the sites couldn't be cleaned. So we actually had to do a rebuild. So think about that. They've invested all this money, built this machine online, their 24/7 salesperson, and it's corrupt, not giving a good user experience. So that can damage your brand reputation as well as cost you leads and clients. So I'm going to share a checklist, but I'm going to share some other horror stories that we've encountered already. So we were integrating a CRM with one client's site, and we found a script in the website. So it's a hacked script. So it's sending people from the website to their website. And I'm going to show you some things online very shortly. Now, we were able to clean that site, but they were paying for the privilege of the site supposedly being backed up. But here's the problem. If there's not a backup structure, then quite often the backups are corrupt as well. So anyway, the end result is we took over the hosting, we cleaned the website, and we now maintain that website. Another problem we found with CRM integration was one client, their website person was non-responsive. They asked for edits, they asked for requests for accesses so we could do the integration, and they were non-responsive. So if that's the case, if something goes wrong, how quickly are you able to get that problem resolved? So be mindful of that. Now, here's something that business owners quite often say to me. Oh, they're not going to try and hack my website. They only go after the big guys, the Sony and things like that. Well, actually, that's not the case. They do target small businesses, and here's why. Because quite often those hacks go unnoticed because they're not being maintained. People aren't investing correctly into website maintenance. So the other reason that they do target small business is that spam emails. So quite often they'll actually hack a website to send out spam emails. So some of the spam emails you get are actually from hacked websites. Now, eventually the hosting company will detect that, but in the meantime, tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of emails have gone out, and that can actually get your IP address blacklisted and you'll crash from the Google charts, so, as well as causing reputational damage. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to share one of the things that hackers do, just so you can actually see it, so it makes it tangible for you. So this builder's website has been compromised, hacked, and new pages have been created within the website, which has helped that website, this builder website, become known for obituaries, newcomer, funeral home. Like, really? So everything we do online, you've got to realize, is for two entities, search engines and people. So now that this has happened, the search engines are actually ranking it for those keywords, which eventually people will find those pages and visit that website, and there's a real disconnect with what the keyword is and the builder, and the reputational damage is just horrific. So now I'm going to show you what some of the other keywords that this builder website is now ranking for. So you can see the list here. All of these keywords this builder is now ranking for. And that's quite devastating. That's quite bad. Not only that, you can see over here the different pages that have been created. So this website now needs to be cleaned and re-indexed with Google. We resubmit a re-indexing request, and hopefully that reputational damage can be undone in a short time frame. So here's some tips that you can ask your Webby. Ask them, do you do full managed support, not just the hosting? Are they updating the plugins regularly? Are they updating the versions regularly? And some other questions. Do you do daily backups? How often do you update the versions of the plugins? Do you monitor security? And really importantly, do you have off-server backups? Now I'll tell you a horror story that happened in 2018. A local company called Cyan Web had built and hosted 400 business owner websites. Overnight, their server was compromised, it was hacked, and somebody pressed the delete button and deleted 400 websites. So in the morning, 400 business owners woke up and no website. They contacted the web company expecting to be able to retrieve their data, and there was no data because that company did not have off-server backups. That's really crucial. And so essentially overnight that business shut down and 400 business owners had no recourse. They could not access their data. They had to rebuild from scratch. So very importantly, make sure they have off-server backups. And the other one is an isolated backup, because with daily backups, when it does a backup, it overwrites the previous backup. There might be a 7-day redundancy period, but it's very important, like when we go live with the website, we do a backup that we never overwrite. So in case something disastrous happens, we can at least restore to that, even if other edits have happened along the way. And then we do quarterly isolated backups. So these are the important questions. Look, I hope that's added value. I don't want to scare you, but I also don't want to see you in the position that I've already seen 5 APB members in. So do go to your Webby, ask these questions. If you need any help, if you want to shout out, then certainly do touch base. That's not the intent of this. It's not for me to build my business. I just don't want to see any other builders in the position that we've seen builders in already. So I hope that adds value. That's Peter Butler, Smarter Website, Smarter CRM. Have a great week.